Good afternoon, Team Ramstein. I am Technical Sergeant Sierra Ingle, an instructor from the Ramstein Airman Leadership School. On behalf of the Acting Commandant, Technical Sergeant Joshua Vanegas, and our host, the Commander, 521st Air Mobility Operations Wing, Colonel Adrienne Williams, welcome to the Ramstein Airman Leadership School's virtual graduation ceremony for Class 2021-5. The mission of the Airman Leadership School program is to prepare airmen and guardians to be professional warfighting airmen and space professionals who can supervise and lead Air Force work teams to support the employment of air and space power. The students received 192 hours of comprehensive instruction in 4 outcomes: mission, leadership, problem solving, and Air Force culture. They will be using this knowledge to further our country's vision of democracy, freedom, and peace. We would like to recognize all the directors, commanders, chief master sergeants, first sergeants, supervisors, mentors, family and friends of our graduates who have extended their support throughout the course. It is your understanding, sacrifice, and patience that has allowed your members to make it thus far. Thank you for viewing today's ceremony. And finally, today's event would not be possible without the sacrifices of the brave airmen who have fallen in combat, those that are currently defending our freedom around the world, and the support of their families. At this time, we will hear a few motivational words from our Acting Commandant, Technical Sergeant Vanegas.
Class 21-5, here we are, graduation day. Now, 24 days of education is a lot of time for facilitated discussions, experiential activities, and performance task evaluations. But also, more than that, was a lot of perspective that was given out in the virtual flight rooms. Now, I had the pleasure of actually sitting in on some of these conversations and actually being a part of some of them. And I just wanted to highlight the perspective of the new generation of NCOs that I've seen throughout the time that I sat in those experiences. Now, one flight talked about the relevance of the journey of the leader, and that no matter which path we take, we have to be careful where we step, because you just never know what you're going to step on. We also talked about the concept of leadership styles in another flight room, and how mentorship and coaching are some of the things that we would like to see as future leaders, because if our airmen make mistakes, or if our peers, if our leaders make mistakes, that it's okay, as long as we're learning from those things and it's helping us grow and develop to be better versions of ourselves. Another thing we talked about was the idea of not only being direct, but also explaining the whys to the people around us that we're leading, so they truly know what they're doing and they know their relevance in the scheme of things, but also they have value in what they're doing because they know. In another flight room, we talked about life experiences during basic military training, and how some of us had different types of ways of getting through certain things, but we all grew and developed to who we are currently right now. And on that conversation of behaviors and tendencies and positive and negative feedback, you all brought up the concept of time management, and why we all have busy schedules as regular people in the world living their best lives and as Air Force members, but also with the new established piece of being a supervisor as well. And that to be a good leader, you have to make time for the things that matter and be very intentional about that, because it's how we take care of ourselves, how we're able to take care of the people around us, and how we take care of our subordinates that truly make us well-rounded individuals. Also, we talked about the concept of communication and feedback. And in that conversation of communication and feedback, you all explained to me that it's not just important to be able to give effective feedback, but also to receive it, and our ability to listen and how important that entails in our effectiveness as supervisors. And finally, there were conversations in another flight room about critical thinking hindrances, and how it's not just important to understand and being able to identify those things, but to identify them within ourselves and to be the best communicators that we can be. Because it's one thing to be able to identify someone else doing stuff, but it's another thing to be able to identify what we are doing and how we can grow and develop to be better versions of ourselves. Overall, I enjoyed every single conversation and every single moment throughout this curriculum in my dealings with all of you, and having small little conversations in between breaks and having the conversations in the flight rooms. I truly believe that when you all leave this course and you go back to your work centers, you all are going to do great things as supervisors, because I've only seen great things from you. Once again, congratulations from myself and everyone in the staff, and we cannot wait to see what you do with your new roles and responsibilities as first line supervisors.
Thank you, Technical Sergeant Vanegas. When the students of Class 2021-5 logged into their Zoom meeting rooms on the 26th of May, they took the first steps on a new path in their Air and Space Force careers as supervisors and non-commissioned officers. Today, we return them to duty, focused and ready for their responsibilities. The mere fact that these 78 air and space professionals are graduating today indicates that they have achieved success. And now, the moment all the students have been waiting for. The diplomas announced today represent 5 weeks of hard work and dedication. The names that you are about to hear belong to the Air and Space Force's newest first-line supervisors. Starting with Avenger Flight, as each graduate is called, please show your support by commenting below.
I'm Technical Sergeant Shane Morris, the instructor for Avenger Flight, and I'm proud to announce our graduates. From the 86th Vehicle Readiness Squadron, Senior Airman Rafael Arredondo. From the 86th Security Forces Squadron, Senior Airman Brian Bendel. From the 721st Aerial Port Squadron, Senior Airman Anthony DeVerse. From the 521st Air Mobility Operations Wing, Senior Airman Michael Doe. From the 1st Combat Communications Squadron, Senior Airman Elin Ellison. From the 24th Intelligence Squadron, Staff Sergeant Isabel Emmons. From the 569th United States Forces Police Squadron, Staff Sergeant Bryant Goris. From the Defense Intelligence Agency, Senior Airman Jessica Landry. From the 603rd Air Operations Center, Staff Sergeant Samantha Lopez. From the 721st Aircraft Maintenance Squadron, Senior Airman Christine Melanowski. From the 569th United States Forces Police Squadron, Senior Airman Mark Meininger. From the 86th Security Forces Squadron, Senior Airman Kayvon Muse. From the 86th Comptroller Squadron, Staff Sergeant Michael Walters. From the 86th Communication Squadron, Senior Airman Mackay Witherspoon. From the 1st Combat Communications Squadron, Staff Sergeant Douglas Witzeling. From the 86th Logistics Readiness Squadron, Staff Sergeant Chase Young. Ladies and gentlemen, Avenger Flight.
I am Technical Sergeant Abraham Polito, the instructor for Defender Flight, and I am proud to announce our graduates. From the 86th Vehicle Readiness Squadron, Staff Sergeant Dion Jacob Coe. From the 496th Air Base Squadron, Staff Sergeant Tiffany Coram. From the 86th Security Forces Squadron, Senior Airman Serena Cross. From the 435th Construction and Training Squadron, Senior Airman Bradley Frank. From the 86th Mission Support Group, Detachment 1, Deployment Transition Center, Senior Airman Diamond Johnson. From the 86th Communications Squadron, Senior Airman Nicholas Moore. From the 569th United States Forces Police Squadron, Staff Sergeant Andrew Nelson. From the 435th Contingency Response Squadron, Senior Airman Cody Painter. From the 693rd Intelligence Support Squadron, Staff Sergeant Bobby Richardson. From the 721st Aircraft Maintenance Squadron, Senior Airman Luke Sanders. From the 86th Logistics Readiness Squadron, Senior Airman Cody Sapp. From the 86th Comptroller Squadron, Senior Airman Dakota Stroud. From the 86th Medical Support Squadron, Senior Airman Juan Vega. From the 450th Intelligence Squadron, Staff Sergeant Alexis Williams. And from the 1st Combat Communications Squadron, Senior Airman Bridget Wozniak. Ladies and gentlemen, Defender Flight.
I am Technical Sergeant Sierra Ingle, the instructor for Guardian Flight, and I am proud to announce our graduates. From the 603rd Air Communications Squadron, Senior Airman Oceana Barber. From the 435th Contingency Response Squadron, Senior Airman Robert Burleson Jr. From the United States Air Force Europe Band, Senior Airman Sarah Casano. From the 1st Combat Communications Squadron, Staff Sergeant David Custer Jr. From the 21st Operational Weather Squadron, Senior Airman Gabriel Gutierrez. From the Air Force Element Defense Intelligence Agency, Senior Airman Brandon Hendricks. From the 786th Force Support Squadron, Senior Airman Ryan Lowe. From the 24th Intelligence Squadron, Senior Airman Erica Mott. From the 86th Security Forces Squadron, Staff Sergeant Presley Pace. From the 603rd Air Operations Center, Senior Airman Josephine Ratcliffe. From the 693rd Intelligence Support Squadron, Staff Sergeant Roger Riverall. From the 86th Vehicle Readiness Squadron, Staff Sergeant Chase Rombout. From the 721st Aerial Port Squadron, Senior Airman Christopher Schmidtke. From the 721st Aircraft Maintenance Squadron, Senior Airman Jacob Smith. From the 569th United States Forces Police Squadron, Staff Sergeant Brandon Townsend. Ladies and gentlemen, Guardian Flight.
I am Staff Sergeant Philip Zavala, the instructor for Sentry Flight, and I am proud to announce our graduates. From the 721st Mobility Support Squadron, Specialist 4, Kevin Arell. From the 86th Vehicle Readiness Squadron, Staff Sergeant Austin Bishop. From the 450th Intelligence Squadron, Senior Airman Taya Cantrell. From the 86th Security Forces Squadron, Senior Airman R.J. Fritz. From the 21st Operational Weather Squadron, Senior Airman Nazarena Hernandez. From the 86th Dental Squadron, Staff Sergeant Casey Kennedy. From the 86th Munitions Squadron, Senior Airman Colton Lavender. From the 24th Intelligence Squadron, Staff Sergeant Mackenzie Meredith. From the Headquarters Air Force Flight Standards Agency, Senior Airman Andre Mitchell. From the 603rd Air Operations Center, Staff Sergeant Eric Niamu. From the 86th Medical Squadron, Senior Airman Jasmine Reyes. From the 1st Combat Communications Squadron, Senior Airman Jordan Rodriguez. From the 86th Logistics Readiness Squadron, Senior Airman David Rogers. From the 569th United States Forces Police Squadron, Staff Sergeant Daniel Salima. From the 86th Aircraft Maintenance Squadron, Senior Airman Jamie Seafried. From the 86th Communications Squadron, Senior Airman Kyle Sipman. Ladies and gentlemen, Sentry Flight.
I am Staff Sergeant George Lennon, the instructor for Warrior Flight, and I'm proud to announce our graduates. From the 86th Munitions Squadron, Senior Airman Eddie Bolos. From the 86th Operations Support Squadron, Senior Airman Tyler Bradshaw. From the 1st Combat Communications Squadron, Staff Sergeant Riley Carlson. From the 86th Vehicle Readiness Squadron, Senior Airman Cole Dredge. From the 37th Airlift Squadron, Staff Sergeant Devin Fries. From the 86th Logistics Readiness Squadron, Senior Airman Brandon Jarrell. From the 603rd Air Communications Squadron, Staff Sergeant Tafane Hazard. From the 721st Aircraft Maintenance Squadron, Senior Airman Elizabeth Hintz. From the 86th Security Forces Squadron, Senior Airman Joshua Irving. From the 496th Air Base Squadron, Staff Sergeant Mark Ledesma. From the 721st Aerial Port Squadron, Senior Airman Brendan McClellan. From the 86th Security Forces Squadron, Senior Airman Jillian McCoy. From the 786th Force Support Squadron, Senior Airman William Mowry. From the 21st Operational Weather Squadron, Senior Airman Ryan Roberts. From the 450th Intelligence Squadron, Senior Airman Vina Shee. From the 86th Vehicle Readiness Squadron, Staff Sergeant Colton Schrayer. Ladies and gentlemen, Warrior Flight.
A big congratulations once again to all of our graduates. Though every graduate has met the objectives, there are those who went above and beyond the normal standards. Several students have excelled in all areas of the curriculum and will now be recognized for their individual achievements. The first award being presented today is the Commandant's Leadership Award. After being evaluated throughout the course, one student from each flight is nominated by their peers based purely on their leadership qualities. This award goes to the student who displayed outstanding leadership in the classroom and beyond. In order to determine the recipient of the award, interviews were conducted by the Commandant with each of the following nominees. Please give them a hearty congratulations as they are announced. From Avenger Flight.
Senior Airman Michael Doe.
From Defender Flight.
Staff Sergeant Alexis Williams.
From Guardian Flight. Senior Airman Jacob Smith. From Sentry Flight.
Senior Airman Kyle Sipman.
From Warrior Flight.
Staff Sergeant Tafane Hazard.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Commandant's Leadership Award recipient for Class 2021-5 is...
From the 603rd Air Communications Squadron, Staff Sergeant Tafane Hazard.
The next award is the Academic Achievement Award. This award is given to the students in the class with the highest academic standing and denotes excellence as a scholar. Ladies and gentlemen, the Academic Achievement Award recipients for Class 2021-5 are...
From the 721st Aircraft Maintenance Squadron, Senior Airman Luke Sanders.
From the 603rd Air Operations Center, Staff Sergeant Eric Niamu.
The next award is the Distinguished Graduate Award. This award recognizes the students who have excelled in all areas of leadership, performance, and academic evaluations, placing them in the top 10% of the class. 7 students have earned this distinction. The first distinguished graduate is from the 721st Aircraft Maintenance Squadron, Senior Airman Jacob Smith. The second distinguished graduate is from the 435th Contingency Response Squadron, Senior Airman Robert Burleson Jr. The third distinguished graduate is from the United States Air Force Europe Band, Senior Airman Sarah Casano. The fourth distinguished graduate is
From the 603rd Air Communications Squadron, Staff Sergeant Tafane Hazard.
the fifth distinguished graduate is
From the 86th Communications Squadron, Senior Airman Kyle Sipman.
the sixth distinguished graduate is
From the 521st Air Mobility Operations Wing, Senior Airman Michael Doe.
the final distinguished graduate is
From the 450th Intelligence Squadron, Senior Airman Taya Cantrell.
Today's final award is the John L. Levito Award. This award is named in honor of the lowest ranking airman in history to receive the Medal of Honor and is the highest level of recognition in enlisted professional military education. The student who receives this award is the most distinguished graduate who clearly excelled in all areas of leadership, performance, and academic evaluations. Ladies and gentlemen, the Ramstein Airmen Leadership School is extremely proud to present the John L. Levitow Honor Graduate for Class 2021-5 to...
From the 496 Air Base Squadron, Staff Sergeant Tiffany Coram.
Congratulations to all of our award recipients. And now it is with great pleasure that I introduce the commander of the 521st Air Mobility Operations Wing, Colonel Adrienne Williams, and the 521st Air Mobility Operations Wing Command Chief, Chief Master Sergeant Michael Wynn, for the closing remarks for our graduates.
Congratulations! You've just completed a major milestone in your Air Force career as a frontline supervisor.
Being a frontline supervisor is one of the most challenging jobs you will undertake, but it's also the most important layer of enlisted leadership we have within the Air Force. Over this course of instruction, you have developed a foundational skill set that will carry you through these challenges, and you've built long-lasting relationships with your peers that ultimately make the Air Force team stronger. Use these relationships to your advantage and use this network to help solve issues. Don't be afraid to make mistakes, and don't be afraid to ask for help. No one can do this meaningful job alone, and we need to count on each other to make the mission happen.
Chief and I are extremely proud of your accomplishments and are confident that you will use all you have learned to make a difference as a supervisor. Lead on.
Thank you, Colonel Williams and Chief Wynn. This concludes our virtual ceremony. Please take care of yourselves and one another as you lead the next generation of airmen and guardians. Thank you for viewing and have an amazing day.